Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and today we're looking at a new moon in the fixed water sign of Scorpio. Today is November 4th, 2021, and that new moon occurs at 5:14 p.m. Eastern Time, and it will be occurring at 12 degrees 40 minutes. And I chose this particular picture of the High Priestess card in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck because of all the various symbolism in here that feels very Scorpionic. We have the crescent moon, we have flowing water, we have the, I don't know how to say them, so I'm not going to. I don't know how to pronounce them, but these are columns that stood at the Temple of Solomon, and the words associated with them have a lot to do with will. And Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto, and Pluto is associated with very strong willpower and determination, personal power, control, crisis, upheaval, transformation. There's a strong all or nothing energy, the high road, the low road, and the polarity in the sign of Scorpio itself. And the symbolism of the pomegranate has to do with fertility and abundance, and Scorpio has rulership over the 8th house. Among the things that Scorpio rules will be mentioned in the forecast that I wrote today, but the idea of fertility and abundance is associated with money, as is the sign of Scorpio. It has to do with long-term money or invested money, money that we might share with others or that cannot be touched immediately. Money that makes money. So let's take a look at what we have going on today, what I've written. We have the new moon in Scorpio, Thursday, November 4th, activates intuitive intelligence and reveals hidden truths which may alter the course of your future, as the moon in a perceptive and investigative water sign forms a fixed T-square with Sirius Saturn in future-oriented Aquarius and changemaker Uranus in value and security-focused Taurus. Scorpio rules the 8th house of sex, death, taxes, metaphysics, and the occult, business partnerships, investments and inheritances, shared assets and values. Taurus, the sign which opposes Scorpio, rules the 2nd house of personal finances, personal values, and self-worth. While realistic Saturn puts pressure upon the Sun, Moon, and Uranus, you may feel it is time to take a long, hard look at what is working in your life and what is not when it comes to the merging of boundaries and sharing of assets, as well as issues of trust and integrity. Some people may delve deeper into something more serious, and others may break free of something restrictive or non-productive. But either way, a Yod aspect involving the destiny-determining North Node in this or that Gemini, Venus in a late degree of the adventurous fire sign of Sagittarius, and Mercury in the final degree of the strategizing and relating air sign of Libra, conveys a sense of a good opportunity slipping away and moving on to someone else, which could cause you to leap before you look. Use the trine between the new moon and sensitive Neptune in boundaryless Pisces to align with your intuition or envision a dream. But also use the square aspects between Moon Saturn and Mercury Pluto to ask important questions, analyze facts and evidence, and establish boundaries. Securing your own inner power and worthiness is a must before you begin something new or share your energy or resources. So let's take a look at how things look up there in the sky. And here we see all the Scorpio energy. We have Mercury at almost the final degree of Libra, so it's spending its last 2 days hanging out here in Libra before it moves into Scorpio and begins to join Mars. And we've got Venus here at the very final degree of Sagittarius, and I do think it shifts into Capricorn at some point today. We have the Yod here with the North Node. We've had the North Node decreasing here in Gemini, and it won't be long before it moves into Taurus. But it's here in Gemini for now, and it feels as though this is a deciding type of a yacht, because we do have Mercury, which is the planet of thought and communication, and Venus is in a horizon seeking, looking to expand and get more information or knowledge or experience. Sagittarius energy, Venus has to do with pleasure, desire, the things that are familiar or comfortable to you. All of this mutable energy in this yod can indicate that you have multiple options, and you might be feeling very optimistic, but you also have to be aware of why, like, why are you wanting to suddenly vary your path, go off your path, change your course, jump into something else, or be impulsive in a relationship situation. Anything that has to do with relationship, or anything that has to do with entrepreneurial or expansive energy, or taking risks or chances toward an unknown future, can be tied up here. And because there is a certain amount of what's the right word? Being naive or not yet knowing. Gemini has rulership over the third house in the zodiac wheel, and that's formative ideas and imagination, early childhood education, casual acquaintances, siblings, neighbors, where you're just starting out, you're just knowing, you're just beginning to learn. So there's a certain innocence in there, or being naive and not fully knowing. And of course, we have the exploratory energy of Sagittarius that is very eager to go and be out there and expand and learn and know. And we would like to do it with somebody, that Libra energy. But not all relationships that you might be eager to jump into are going to necessarily be as light and easy or fun as this yod might be indicating, or relationships when it comes to finances and shared money, business, might not be the answer, the solution to your problems. There's no guarantee there. You really have to look carefully and weigh the pros and the cons of anything before you do move forward, and that is due to the fact that we have this new moon opposing a very unpredictable planet, unstable, unpredictable, but it is a planet of change in a fixed earth sign in Taurus, and Taurus says I have, and it wants to hold on to what it has. It also wants to experience life fully on a sensual level. It's Venus ruled, so how something looks, tastes, sounds, smells, or feels, and the whole experience of indulgence or luxury, comfort, pleasure, beauty, all those Venusian things are very earth-bound in this sign. And it does rule the second house of money, personal finances. And we have Scorpio ruling the 8th house, where we share our money, or it's other people's money, or it's debt, or it's grants or loans or inheritances or taxes, insurance settlements, money that is maybe not ours immediately. Boundaries and the breaking of them can be very significant, no matter where this Scorpio and Taurus energy, this opposition is in your own natal chart. We're saying second house and 8th house because those are their rulerships in a chart that begins with Aries on the ascendant. However, your rising sign may be something entirely different, any of the other 12 signs, in which case you're going to have issues of boundaries anyway, or wanting change in how something is structured. Maybe there are issues of trust that come up because the Taurus-Scorpio axis is about trust and boundaries and consciousness of having, and things like doubt and suspicion can come up when we have Scorpio activated in opposition. And the idea here of change and letting go of something that you might have had for quite a while might come up. And we have a T-square where both the Taurus and the Scorpio planets are squaring Saturn in Aquarius. All of your fixed sun signs are potentially going to have more intensity at this new moon, or feel more of an urgency to change or fix a problem, really get to the heart of something. And those fixed signs are Taurus and Leo and Scorpio and Aquarius, because you will be activated. Your own personal sun, if it's in any of those signs, is going to feel this new moon more strongly. And Saturn is a realistic, reality check planet, and it is about commitment and duty, authority, responsibility, whether it's the self-discipline and awareness, or whether it's something outside of you, laws, your boss, your marital partner, anything that makes you feel restricted or controlled. Some things may seem illogical now or very arbitrary, and it may be time to really look at that, and whether things are moving forward and there's future growth, because that's something Aquarius is very concerned with, and Aquarius is ruled by the planet of change, Uranus, or whether things have gone dead. Are they just not moving? Is something not happening? If it's not, then it's time for a shakeup. It's definitely time to maybe vary your course. And in which case, maybe ask other people, how did they get through a similar situation? Or ask them to look at your life and your work. Seek a mediator. Maybe seek out a counselor or an expert in a particular field that you're stuck in, if you feel stuck, and see what other opportunities there may be for you. Particularly if you're feeling very stagnant and stuck, then you can use that yacht to your advantage to get an idea of what else is there. Go on an exploratory mission. We do have a fading trine between Jupiter and Mercury, and that can show that there are still friends or groups or organizations with Mercury trine to Jupiter here in Aquarius that can help you out, or you might have some very big plans or ideas. Now you have to get down to the work of it, and a T-square always is about work. And Mars and Saturn are both in this T-square, and they are physically oriented, work-oriented planets. Mars is where we show up and take action. It's that drive to get something started, to initiate, to get it done. It has rulership over Aries, so we have that very strong, fiery, initiating energy, even though it is modified a bit in water. But Mars was actually the traditional ruler of Scorpio before Pluto came along, before we assigned Pluto to Scorpio. We've got these squares going on here, Mercury to Pluto, and that can also test your ability to handle crisis, or to handle control, or to stand up to control, or to assert your own power, to claim power in some way. If you're in a power struggle with anybody, then you need to communicate. Or decide that you are you're no longer communicating. And we've got a square going on as well with Mars and Saturn. So we've got and Mars is loosely conjunct the Sun and the Moon. They're about 9 degrees apart. You'll be feeling it. It's not a tight conjunction, but you can definitely feel it, that fiery energy there, with this sense of self and emotions, and I need a new start. What should I be doing? The idea of doing seems very important when Mars and Saturn interact. It's not enough to just sit there and think about something, or imagine, or wish, or hope, or do energy work, or whatever. There has to be a follow-through coming up. But usually on a new moon, it is best to refrain from actually starting something on the day. However, I feel like if you can handle it, go for it. If you have checked out all your options and you know what it is that you need to do and you're very determined, then it can be a good day to say, this is it, I'm doing this now, as long as you are sure. And we also have a trine that's coming into exactness as the day goes on. By evening, it'll be a little bit tighter with the moon and the sun trine to Neptune. And Neptune does make a sextile as well to Pluto. And this does give a deepening of the knowing or the sense that something is right. If you are listening to your instincts and your intuition, you can get confirmation perhaps from spiritual advisors or any spiritual connection you might have. If you're asking the universe for signs or messages, you might receive them this evening, that, you know, all systems go and that your intuition is on target. But definitely with a lot of Aquarius energy in here interacting with Scorpio energy, it's not just about the intuition, it's also about the intellect and the analysis, because that's what Aquarius does. It thinks. And we've got, you know, intellectual intelligence with Aquarius energy, and we've got instinctual intelligence with Scorpio. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol for 12 degrees, 40 minutes, and we round up to 13 degrees. An inventor performs a laboratory experiment. Keynote: the driving urge toward achievement, which is at the root of civilization. Well, we have a lot of Saturn and Pluto interaction today, and of course they are driven for success. At whatever level, the development of more complete and efficient forms of social interplay, the essence of the process of civilization, demands ingenuity, inventiveness, and the willingness to experiment within relatively secure test conditions. That sounds like our T-square a great deal. One must try to go to the roots of problems of interpersonal or international relations, as well as to discover the principles controlling the interaction between material particles and larger bodies. Modern technology is only one approach to an immensely complex problem. Intuition is as necessary to success as intellectual analysis. And that's pretty much what I just said with the Aquarius and Scorpio energy that we have going on. You have to balance both. This is the third stage of the 45th sequence of 5 symbols. The symbol stresses the value of individual initiative, perseverance, and caution in any attempt to understand how everything is related to everything else. What is most needed is the ability to relate seemingly unrelated facts. And I had definitely written there in the forecast you need to ask the questions to get the facts, to know, to get the information. You can't just assume anything based on what your instinct or intuition might tell you. And it is interesting in there too that it talked about self-initiative. We do have Chiron in Aries. Aries is that cardinal fire sign I am, and this can show some self-awareness, self-responsibility, particularly over your own physicality and your physical needs and what you need to do to care for yourself, and also how do you fix the problems of the larger group or society as Saturn sits in Aquarius. It's very participatory. You know, if something's going to happen or change, you have to be a part of it, and you have to, even if you don't feel like communicating because of this square, you may still have to do that. It's just part of being human. You know, if you've got a complaint or a problem, then start working at fixing it. Don't just sit and wait for somebody to read your mind. So some self-responsibility, self-awareness is tied in here with Chiron, and that does make a quincunx as well to the sun and the moon, to this new moon. So your answers may indeed come with some introspection and really looking at yourself and doing your part and understanding that nobody else is going to stand up and do something for you. If you do want something, you have to participate, you have to communicate, and you have to take some responsibility and do the work. Okay, that's it for this new moon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you at the full moon. I believe it's on the 19th in the sign of Taurus, and it's going to be with an eclipse. So until then, hopefully, if you initiate something new, when we get to that full moon of culmination and completion in Taurus, which rules the second house of personal finances, you may feel as though you have more. Take care, and I will see you soon.